every day's a Friday, right? Welcome to Sales
Oh,
Chatter.
I love that. I love that tune. I sit here and just jive to myself.
Yeah, man, we got to get the reggaeton, man. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. But I was thinking about doing different themes for each day, but no, we're bringing the energy today. So this is Sales
Yes.
Chatter, the logistics podcast where we aim to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. I'm your co-host Ryan Mohamed, aka the Logistics Monk. With me is my good friend Dan O'Mac. What's going on, brother?
All right, buddy. You know what? We are gonna have a beautiful weekend this weekend. So it's gonna be gorgeous, man. It's gonna be gorgeous today. It's one of those Fridays where you really have to kind of force yourself to work because you'd much rather be on the golf course or out enjoying the sunshine somewhere. So I remember when my office never used to have a window, and I used to come out on lunch and go like, "Oh my God, I'm missing this."
There we go. It's beautiful perks, and just as fast as it comes will be as fast as it goes. So let's hop into today. I know everybody's catching definitely Funday Fridays before they hit the golf course.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
There we go.
Mark says it's going to be a heat wave in Alberta.
I'm so sorry that he's in Alberta. I haven't been in Alberta yet. Maybe he's in Banff.
No, you can't be sorry he's in Alberta, man. The Oilers, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they lose? Aren't they out? They're out, right?
Are they out?
Did Las Vegas beat them? I think Las Vegas already beat them.
Did they beat them last night?
Well, I didn't pay attention, but I know that they were getting
No,
smoked.
Vegas beat them the other day, like smoked them the other day. But I thought they had one more game left.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who follows the Edmonton Oilers? I really hope not, because then all the Canadian teams as of tonight are going to be out. So,
it's the thing, right? But by the way, you know what? Forget hockey because hockey sucks. But you know what? Today is the anniversary that Kawhi Leonard hit that amazing shot over Jimmy Butler and sent Joel Embiid packing en route to the NBA championship. The only championship that matters in Canada was that 2019 amazing basketball team. So it was amazing. It's spectacular to kind of see that. I saw that on my highlights this morning, Dan. So that's definitely. I feel like remember back in the day we used to have those heritage moments commercials,
yes.
during in between like Days of Our Lives or like Young and the Restless and all that stuff.
I don't know about that because I never used to watch that. But dude, what did you just do to yourself live on?
Oh no! Well, hey man, that's what we're talking about Mother's Day, man. You didn't watch the stuff with your mother? Like this was a big man, you need to connect more. But with that,
you really used to watch Days of Your Lives and Young and the Restless with your mom?
Of course,
I mean you're a good son. Don't get me wrong. That's a very
but I was like 6 or 7, so it was like I was growing up and seeing those things, right? So it's like we didn't want to kind of you didn't have a choice. Back in those days, most people had like 1 or 2 TVs, right? Like right now, I could probably count like 5 or 6 TVs in a house, and I'm like, what the heck, But it's amazing kind of see, and we want to get to today's theme, which is Mother's Day for Funday Fridays. So before we even get into those questions, Dan, we have amazing guests, right? We're not just alone here today. So we have the Bodacious Cowboy, Jeff Dickinson, and we have an amazing person that I've just seen so many of their content on LinkedIn, and I was like, you know what, Dan? I got to connect with her. We got to bring her on the show, all the way from Mississippi. Let's welcome Carla Cook and the Bodacious Cowboy from New Jersey. What's going on, my friends?
We need that. Oh.
We need a drum roll.
Yeah, a crowd in the background going, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Mother's Day is Sunday. Beautiful weekend to the mamas. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Great to be here.
From there, it's awesome. So, Carla, welcome to the show. Welcome to Funday Fridays. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's get on to it.
Okay. So I'm Carla. I am from Mississippi, if you cannot tell from my accent. I worked in education before moving to logistics. I work for Nolan Transportation Group. Since I've been in not education, but since I've been in logistics, I have loved it ever since. I'm learning so much. So with that learning, I've started posting a lot of more content. I do theme days, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, and Fridays. I've been switching it up a little bit. Similar to you guys, I have a fun Friday too as well. And a throwback Thursday where I talk about transportation history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was yesterday's?
So I've been kind of like slowing down a little bit, but yesterday was Throwback Thursday. So that means I was going to talk about transportation industry, but I've been working with my company to kind of switch over to my content to where it's more focused also on what we're doing, but also on what I like to learn. So yes, you will be seeing more posting. My last one was on warehousing.
Mm.
Warehouse, that's
Nice.
interesting. I
Yes.
like that. And you know what? Just a testament, right? Dan and Jeff, that we see like the newer reps coming into our industry, they have a passion for it. They're learning
Yeah.
their passion as they're kind of going to it. They're not seeing this as a paycheck, and Carla is amazing. I love to kind of see the content. What do you both, Dan and Jeff, what do you guys kind of seeing like from the new reps are kind of coming out as well with amazing personal and company brands?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love that they're coming in and they're hustling, and they have their own path. They're creating their own path. Paving a way for others to follow. And I love it. I'd love to see more of it for sure.
I love watching when reps first come in, when they first start posting their videos or first start posting
Mm.
their content, and I love watching them evolve.
Yes.
I have a few students that are like, "What do you think of this video?" And I'm like, "Hey, I think it's good. I know you got more in you, but post it because you have to actually take that step and post it." And the one where they're kind of looking over at the notes and the cameras here, and you can kind of tell with the eyes. But you know what? It's getting out there and it's doing it, and it's way more than when we started. When we started, we had none of this. It was literally banging out phone calls every day, pulling out the old Rand McNally. Hey Jeff, you'll remember those, the Rand McNally guides to like the different states and what traffic manager or what companies were
Rolodex.
in different states. And it was like, you had a book this big and you're sifting through it and you're like highlighting it. And if you were in a pit or a bullpen, if you will, like somebody had an orange highlighter, somebody had a blue highlighter, and they would cross it off. And that was literally like your CRM was a Rand McNally guide.
Right.
And now you come to today, right? You have automation, you have social media. Ryan said there was a guy he works closely with that got leads off TikTok, right? Where you have to engage on those platforms and you have to kind of go, 1 minute of courage can bring a lifetime of joy. And, Carla, for you to do theme days, I think it's great. I think it's great. And especially building your personal brand, because in this industry, it's about you. It's not about the flag you fly.
Yes.
Yep. That's right.
I agree on
Absolutely.
that.
Keep on doing what you're doing for sure.
Yeah, keep on doing
Thank
what you're
you.
doing, and
And I do see TikTok a lot. I said I was going to start posting some videos. There's a lot of freight brokers, shippers that actually post on there. And I've seen a lot where I'm like, let me message this person and say, hey, I have something for your shipping needs. And sometimes it does. It's really good, like culture, I guess. Because some people will be like, okay, what do you do? Because TikTok is freer. Similar to
yeah.
LinkedIn, it's getting a little bit better to where it's not just professional content. There's other content as well.
Yes.
I love that. As a avid user of TikTok, I find like it's probably one of my favorite social platforms. Especially, I was telling these guys on Data Day that a lot of truck drivers, they use TikTok and they show us about like their pre-inspection. They actually take us into the truck, and like there's a couple of followers that there's one of them. I think Alex Nino. He has about 3.5 million subscribers on YouTube,
Wow.
and all he does is people just kind of follow him with his journeys. He's down south in SoCal, I think he is. But yeah, just connect with different people, and you just kind of go with there. I think it's awesome to kind of see what's kind of coming up.
Grumpy Pete, doesn't he have over 100,000 followers now? Yeah,
He
definitely.
does. Yeah, he does. And,
That's
and
Dean.
that is Dean, right? So people want to see that. You want to bring that in, and like Carla was saying, you want to be able to let them know that, hey, I'm just more than a freight broker. If you play an instrument, or Carla, you can be sending them pictures of your 12 peacocks that we talked
Yes.
about off air, which is amazing, right? So let's get into Funday Fridays, my friends.
Let's do
So how
this.
it works here is that I ask a bunch of questions and we try to trump you guys, and everybody gets a turn and let them know and try to be engaging as possible. So with Mother's Day theme, I think I'll start with the easy one and we'll go with Carla first. Our guest ladies first every single time. What is your fondest memory of your mother?
My funnest memory with my mom is watching Living Color. We just yes, we watched the show, we binge watched it, and we would always laugh because it was like 90s. This has been recent. I've had so many memories moments with my mom where she's like my best friend. But having those conversations with her talking to adult me where she still sees me as a little kid was very interesting to see. So we were laughing at just the different characters and stuff like that. So that was fun. My mom's, like I said, she's my best friend. She's like my little twin. We actually look just alike.
Very cool. And that show, you couldn't have picked a better show.
Yes.
Like that show was
Hilarious.
it trumped Saturday Night Live huge. And
Oh,
even though Saturday
easily.
Night Live
Mad
had like Eddie
TV.
Murphy and all that, but
Wayans
oh
was
no, Trump
awesome.
Mad TV.
Yeah.
Trump Mad TV.
In living color. All right, Daniel, what's your most memorable moment with that comes to your mind? Your most memory of your mama? No crying, by the way.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna actually go with one that was funny and yet kind of sums up my mom very quickly. Playing soccer, and there was this Italian fella that was like twice the size of me, and we went to the same school, but he kind of had it out for me, and we were on different soccer teams. And throughout the game, he kept tripping me. And one time I was on a breakaway and he came up and just like slew-footed me. And my mom comes running out onto the field, like trying to chase this guy down. And my mom, she can't run. And I'm lying on the ground, almost in like this embarrassment state because my mom's running out on the field, but then looking at my mom going like, way to go, Mom. Like she never stood down from anything or anyone when it came to her family. And it's just like my wife. You do not mess with her family. And yeah, that would probably be one of the best embarrassing and yet really cool moments to watch my mom go gunning down the field after this guy. Hilarious. Don't you dare trip him again. And she's booking it.
See, there we go. And Jeff, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, I forged my father's name on piece of paper saying, "Please excuse Jeff Dickinson from school today. He was blah blah blah." And I did it a few times, and then my mom was called. So my mom comes down, and principal shows the piece of paper and goes, "Did your husband write this?" And she looks at me, she looks at the paper, she goes, yes. As a matter of fact, he did. And let's just say I had my ass kicked like after I left that office for my mom. But it was pretty funny though, seeing the face that my mom made and the price I paid after it. It was pretty funny.
See, that was an amazing moment. And for me, I would say there's a couple, but the one that kind of comes to mind was when it's a quick story, but there was a time that my sister and I came home from school, and I was in grade 4, she would have been in grade 2, and we had a chimney back in I don't even know if they make houses. My new house doesn't have a chimney, but back in the day we used to have chimneys and a fireplace. There was like 3 birds roaming in the house, and we were scared of them, my sister and I. So my sister and I were like, okay, well, let's hide in the bathroom. And then we got the courage to go grab the phone, and then we ran upstairs. But then there was 2 more birds upstairs. So my sister and I actually ended up in the closet, just sweating away, just terrified of these birds. And these are just little birds. And then my mom kind of being that knight in shining armor because she left work early to kind of open up the closet. And then she caught those birds like nothing and then let them go outside. And it was just like, there's my superhero. I think your mom and your dad are like the biggest superheroes that you can have. Your first loves, true love. So that is it for me. So. And I'm still scared of birds, so I don't know if that's like traumatizing, but it is from there. So next question, let's get into it. This one's a really cool one. What song or song lyrics specifically remind you of your mom? And we'll start with Carla.
I'm trying to think. Salt and Pepper. I can't really think of one of their songs, but me and her used to dance around the house. And we just felt like we were in a concert. And then there's this one song with Whitney Houston and Deborah Cox. We would just go back and forth, like basically karaoke, and I would sing as hard as I could just to kind of get that Whitney Houston vibe.
Oh, I like that. Salt and Pepper, Whitney Houston, dancing around. Dano, what do you got, my man?
I would say probably, I don't know if there's necessarily a song just mom, but there would be a song for the family, which could be The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. It used to be the song my mom and I used to always ask my dad to play. So that one kind of reminds me more of those family times by the campfire camping and then camping with my uncle and all that kind of that theme. But not really a specific song for my mom. The music never really played in our house. And then when we were in the car, it was usually my parents yelling at my brother and I to stop because we had a station wagon where we would look out the back. Remember those ones, Jeff, where the people sit in the back? And so they used to have station wagons where the back seat, you literally looked out the back of the window of the car. And so my brother and I would obviously be giving the bird and things to the people behind us, and my dad would be losing his mind. So we never really had music in the car. If we did have music, it was country music, and it was some of the music my dad used to make. So I'd say Gambler, probably Kenny Rogers.
Gambler, Kenny Rogers, great song, great. I came across that song watching that movie Dog with Channing Tatum. That's like the theme song of like that whole movie. It's a great movie, by the way. But Cowboy, what do you got, my man?
Yeah, I mean there are many different songs from the 70s that my mom and I used to sing to. No, I'm not going to sing them now.
I thought you were going to say 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, and I mean, hey, who didn't play music loud? And my mom would come out and start dancing in the driveway and everything. You know, it was a lot of fun. But there's no real specific song that I could think of because there were many for sure.
Like that. There's one that I personally cannot listen to, or like, and it's happened to me since I was a kid. But there's a Boys to Men song called "Song for Mama." If you guys ever listen to that song, I'd encourage everybody to listen to that song. That song is like crazy. I can't get through it, and I'm pretty strong. But it's a song every time I think about my mom and things like that. And you know, it's both of us, all of us. We all kind of thinking, you know, we grow up with our moms, and then when we finally move out, and it's just like it kind of leads into the next great question. And we'll start with Jeff on this one. But what is your favorite meal or dish that only your mama can make?
New England boiled dinner.
What is that?
It's cabbage. It's potatoes, onions. I mean, it's like pasta vazzoule, except England style. You know, I mean, it has everything in it, meat, all that. And my mom is the only one that could do it, I guess, right, because every time I've tried others, it never tastes like mom's.
You're like Mama. Dano, what do you got, my man?
I'm making my mom sound horrible. My mom can't cook.
I can't either, so you're good.
When my grandma moved in, I was like, yes, because so the one thing my mom used to make, and I don't know if she can make it better than anybody else, was Jello and mandarin oranges.
That sounds yummy.
That it is so good. It is the best. But I mean, I don't, you know, it's Jello and mandarin oranges, so it's not like a special recipe or anything, but it was something that we used to always eat as kids. My mom used to make it in little bowls and put them in the fridge, and we just used to dust them after school. But yeah, that would probably be it, because my mom's not known for the kitchen.
Okay, no worries, man. No worries at all. Carla, what do you got?
Sweet potato pie. I have tried everyone else's pie, and I'm like, this is not it. It doesn't taste like my mom. She would always, during Thanksgiving, she would make me a pie and then maybe a pie for the family. But I always had one pie by myself. So it would definitely have to be sweet potato pie. Yes. And I ate the entire thing that one day.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I can smell it right now. That is amazing.
Yes, it's really good. But it has to have vanilla in it. Like, I know some people that don't put vanilla extract in it. And it has to have it.
Vanilla. And do you want a lot of nutmeg or little nutmeg?
Just a little, not too much. I'm not a big nutmeg fan, so it has to be just a little.
Just a little bit. Okay, sweet potato pie. I feel like I'm kind of blessed because like my mom makes everything, so she's amazing. I would say my comfort meal that I always get my mama to make is we make something called macaroni pie and stewed chicken and red kidney beans, and nothing. Even when I try to make it myself and follow different recipes, think of it. It's not like a baked mac and cheese, but it's kind of like it's hard to explain, but it's just an amazing Trinidadian dish that nobody can make it like my mama. You know, and like how Carla was saying that vanilla extract needs to be in there. With my mom, you got to have a little bit of ginger in there, you know, and that adds a little bit of sweetness
That
to it.
sounds pretty good too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a potluck next time we all get together, so it'll be pretty cool.
I'm still waiting. Ryan was supposed to make me curry chicken, and I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah. Well,
he said it's in the freezer, but I've seen him 4 times since, and he hasn't. I'm thinking
it's hard, but it's frozen. It's frozen solid. We gotta let it defrost. Right?
No, just bring me the whole bin, and we're good. We're good. Then we're golden. We're even.
I got you, brother. I want to get a little bit deep with this one. This one is kind of topping off my head, but one thing that I am kind of scared about is seeing my parents get old, and that's something that obviously I'm seeing here as a 34-year-old male. What is something that you did, that a lesson that you learned from your mom that you didn't understand in the moment, but with time you understood their train of thought or why they did something? And I'll give you guys some time to think about that, because I know that I'll start off with first, just so everyone can kind of get into there. But I think it's a great question to ask. For me, the biggest thing that I understood my mom is that we kind of grew up a little bit strict, but like I wasn't really, like, if my parents weren't home, I really wasn't allowed to go outside. I couldn't even play basketball in my own driveway unless like somebody was home, like a parent was home. And I always kind of used to think about, you know, why are you guys so mean, so selfish? We're just outside and
Where'd you grow up in Compton?
Ajax, man, suburbs, my man. This is
city of industry.
Was there drive-bys every 10 minutes down your street?
Oh, this is the safest neighborhood in the world.
I know.
Well, Dan, I'll tell you this: the biggest crime that we had in our city is if anybody had like overdue library books or like unfertilized grass, you know. So we'll kind of go with there. But for my mom, it was really important that she maintained that sense of security. And that's something that I'm kind of learning as I kind of grow up a little bit. I don't have kids yet, but I have dogs, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, no, I'm not just going to let my dogs go to like random people's houses or go to daycares or different things like that. I'm a little bit protective about that. So that is, for me, my most memory that I remember now. Let's start with Carla on this one.
So my mom's very similar to yours. I was the only child, so she had to watch me constantly. Not everyone's your friend. If you cannot tell, I am a very personable person. When I meet somebody, I'm like, yeah, this is my friend. Like, this is the person that I'm just going to enjoy. But of course, there were some times where that being everyone's friend ended up being very bad. Because it was always hard to choose which friend that I was going to go with. So yeah, being everyone's friend, not everyone's your friend, is one lesson that I use today wherever I go.
Okay. Love that. That's amazing. Daniel, what you got, buddy?
You know, probably one of the greatest lessons ever taught me was you make your own bed. Growing up, my parents, especially my mom, gave me room to screw up and screw up hard. But when I did, it was like my dad was the guy with the belt, and you know, bend me over his knee and strap me, whereas my mom would come in after and say, okay, so listen, you did this is what happened. Like, you got to learn what all your actions create, not always a positive reaction. There's always an opposite that comes back, and it's not always positive. And that's probably one of I think it's one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned in my life, because I actually made the mistakes instead of hypothetically. Like right now, as a parent, I try and share with my kids, listen, I made this mistake and this is what happened, so I don't want you to make it. But I also think we have to screw up in order to have that feeling of what it feels like to be in trouble or to disappoint the people that love you the most, because I think it makes you really think the next time you go in. So it was probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my mom. And originally I thought it was like, she doesn't care, you know, like she just doesn't care. I mean, but she would wait until it rebounded, and then she'd say, okay, so do you remember this time? You notice I didn't say anything, because you got to kind of dig your own grave.
So much in that right there. Yes. Calpo, what do you got for us?
I had no restrictions. I really didn't. I wasn't, my parents weren't strict. Um, they basically said that the world's a canvas and you're the painter. Paint whatever you want to do, and we'll back you on anything, as long as you're happy. And that age is irrelevant. It's what's in here and how you feel as an individual that's going to portray to others. If you want to feel old, you'll be old. If you want to feel young, you can be young. When my mom, she's not with us anymore. She died when she was 91, but when she was 80 something years old, she still looked like she was 50. And it's not an exaggeration. Um, yeah, and that was like the biggest lesson, to just be who you are, feel who you want to be, and let things fall into its place.
It's a great lesson.
Yeah, great lessons. And you definitely live that. Like everybody hears the lessons that they've just shared with us. I can tell, like Carla, I know it's the first time meeting you, but I can definitely see that about you, like with your friends, like that Dano talking about, like understanding, make your bed. And that's, I can see those traits in you, and same thing with Jeff. So that's amazing kind of see. I know and this probably would have happened when we were a lot younger, but what was, in your opinion, your best gift that you ever gave to your mom for Mother's Day? And we'll start with Cowboy on this one.
This is a really tough one. It's like it's more emotional than anything else. But my mom was there for me throughout my whole life, and then when she got really ill, I didn't want her to go to a nursing home, so I basically gave her what she gave me, a life, a comfort, that support, so that she could pass in her own house, because I didn't believe in nursing homes. So I think it was that love and that sharing and being there with her. A lot of people don't have those opportunities, unfortunately, and I was blessed with that, and I believe that my mother felt that in her last moments.
That's deep.
Kudos to you, brother. Dano?
I'm gonna probably say that it was some of those when you're in grade school, like when you're in grade 1, 2, and 3, and that you get to make things for your mom for Mother's Day. She probably cherished those more than anything, because as we got older, it was like flowers. It was, just things where I bet you if I were to go through my mom's house in some of her bins, she still has some of the things I made her when I was a kid for Mother's Day. I probably, if I had to take a guess, that would be what I would go for.
Awesome. Carla, what you got for us?
Cowboy boots.
I like that.
No, I got it this way. Yeah, there's cowboy.
I have no idea. Why would I like that?
Yes, cowboy boots. When I brought those to her, she went crazy. She was like, "What?" And she wore them like every day until they were just literally just worn out. So yeah, cowboy boots would be one of the ones she went crazy for.
Two for me come up to mind. It was when I first got my first job at McDonald's. I was 15 years old and making almost nothing. But I told my mom, hey, I'm going to take you to Red Lobster, because we went to Red Lobster so many times as a kid growing up. So it was my sister, and my parents were separated. So it was my sister, my mom, and I. And I'll never forget this. Like, I had money, but I was like, as I'm looking at the prices, I'm like, oh, shit. And then it's time the bill comes, and I'm like, okay, I'm like slowly getting into it, because I'm like, I can afford it, but I'm like, holy shit, I might not be able to like get food at like high school. And then my mom, she looked at me, she laughed, she's like, no, I got it, it's fine. So that was an awesome first one. And then it's funny enough, I don't know if you guys can all attest to this, but in our culture and like that, parents are like kind of like against dogs and stuff like that, like having a house pet. So when we got our first dog, she was so excited, not for my card, not for my wife's card, not for my sister's card, but from the card that came from our dog. She was so excited, just said, woof, 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 I love you, mom. And then she's like, Raja, she's like, she made us like take that day. The only picture she took was with Raja, who was our late dog. No pictures with us, nothing with her new gifts, all that stuff. But she definitely loved her dogs. And even like,
it's like
now,
her grandchild.
It's her grandchild, man. It's her grandchild. So there we go. It's kind of I go from there. I don't come up on
And
time,
she
but
doesn't have to vacuum after it. She doesn't have to pick up after it. It's perfect. She can come and feed it all sorts of treats and leave, and then it's on you.
well, here's the thing, brother. Here's the thing for everybody here. So she says that her dog Rhea is better than all of us because they don't talk back. You know, they don't give her any lip. They don't give her anything bad. You know, they definitely do listen. So that's pretty awesome. Friends, and I know you guys are married here with I know Dan and Jeff, so you guys can use your wives as well for this. But when's the last time you told your mom or your wife that you love them? And we'll start with Cowboy.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't know. You know, it just comes natural. You know.
Yeah. There we go. So we'll go with that. Dano.
Last night.
Yeah.
And your mom?
Last night.
Oh, there we go. See, I'm loving this. And this for everybody in the audience as well. Carla, what do you got for us?
I would say this morning. We talk on a fairly daily basis. Yes. Every time we get off the phone, we say, "I love you." So yes, it would have to be this morning.
This morning, I love that.
Yeah, I got a little hug from her. She's with me for Mother's Day, so yeah, I love you and a big hug.
So you're getting some sweet potato pie on Sunday, then. You know that's.
We need
the order
to get
been
that.
put in? Okay, the order hasn't been put in yet.
No, I need to go to the grocery store now that you say that.
Love
like,
that.
Mom, how do you do this?
Yeah, she'll walk you through it. For me, my answer is going to be not as often as it needs to be. So that's something that I'm going to change. I think for me, I don't really say I love you, but the words are, "Hey, did you eat today? Hey, did you have things for today?" Like, those are my ways of showing like love or asking that certain question, you know. So do you need to get anything today? Can I take you out anywhere? Those are kind of like my, I guess, love language. If anybody kind of follows the languages, people have different things, but go from there. Last question before we.
It doesn't necessarily need to be 3 words, Ryan.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. It's there. Hey, how are you? Hugs this morning. Did you have a good night's sleep? You know, just being there is the language of love, right?
There we go, being present. And there's if anybody hasn't come across, I forget the author, but there is, I think, the 5 or 6 love languages, and it's a great book, and you can kind of find out who you are as a person. There's actually a survey or something like that, but that's how the way I am. I don't say things, I kind of my actions kind of speak louder than words. So last question for everybody as we're having some fun here from there. If there's one place that you could take your mama, where would it be? And we'll start with Carla on this one.
If there was one place I could take my mom, so when I was little, we would go to Six Flags a lot. So that was our go-to, going to Six Flags. I don't know if it was in Florida. I believe it was in Florida or Texas. And we would go and lay out in like the little lazy river that goes around. So I would love to take her to that, and so both of us can just sit out there and just enjoy it. So yeah, Six Flags. That makes me think I need to start prepping for that.
There we go. We got a little Six Flags. I like Six Flags. Dano, what do you got, buddy?
Egypt. She's a huge Tutankhamun fan and just big on Egyptian stuff, and so I would definitely be the pyramids.
I love that. Jeff, where was a place that you would have loved, or maybe that you know what? Let's switch up the question. Not where would have you liked, but what's your favorite place that you've ever taken your mom?
Ooh. I would say that it was what she always wanted to do stuff with her granddaughter. When my daughter was in rodeos and we were traveling all over the place, she wanted to come with us to see that. But she was older at that time, you know, it was kind of difficult. But she also wanted to go, believe it or not, to Disney World, because she was just like a happy person. And every time that we went, unfortunately, she was sick and she never got that opportunity. But yeah,
love that. Yeah, I love that. Everyone's kind of have their different, and you know, it kind of spawns like different memories, right? Like as Carla was saying, like she went to Six Flags as a kid. Dan saying Egypt, so he grew up with his mom, like loving King Tut. I know Dan. I think you did move a King Tut. Is that one of your stories that you moved to King Tut?
It wasn't. It was part of the King Tut exhibit, yes, and it was moving from the Museum of Montreal to somewhere I forget where in the U.S., but it was it was probably that and a couple of helicopters in the Antonov were probably two of the biggest kind of coolest moves I've ever been a part of.
I can
Ever
imagine
in my
you
life.
telling your mom. Tell your mom about. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Carla can attest to this, and Dan a little bit too. But do you guys like because my mom kind of knows what I does. Like even though I've explained it, even though my sister's in the industry as well, but she'll like sometimes like send me a text. So she'll be like just to make conversation, like, so did you move any shipments today, or like like just making small talk, right?
Exactly.
Like, what was the lane? I guess.
Forget about trying to explain to them what you do.
Yeah. There's no thing. I do want to acknowledge Mark here. Everybody who's watching, Mark's going to be on our show on Tuesday. He is the branch manager of TPZ Logistics in Calgary, so we're looking forward to having him on, learn about his experience and what he's. I think the conversation will kind of shape it around him, kind of going from an amazing sales rep, which is an amazing sales rep now, but now to a manager, somebody who actually cares for his team and actually kind of go from there. So last thing that we always
where all those emojis came from after his.
Oh yeah, he's an emoji guy. He's definitely he's and that's the thing, right? You gotta have the emojis. You gotta have the emojis. So our last question, Carla, that we ask everybody here before we close off the show is, what is your message to the world?
Hi, my name is Carla, and I would love for you to follow me on LinkedIn. I am big on connections. That is one of the most important things to me. I want to learn from you, and I want you to learn from me. So, hello. That would be my message.
To the world.
Yes. Yeah. To the world, it would be love kids. They are our future. They are very important. I came from an education background. Teach your kids. Don't just let them like sit on their laptop all the time. Teach them what to do on their laptop. Teach them coding. So yes, kids are very important to me. Very, very important. So that would be one thing is teach your kids.
Kids. Dano, what's your message to the world today, my friend?
Same as always. What you do screams so loud I can't hear a word you say.
There we go. Cowboy, what is your message to the world today?
Be kind to each other.
Be kind. I love that. And mine, I'm gonna do it for Mother's Day team. Tell your mom you love them. And if you can't say it, show it to them, right? And then spend that time with them because they're getting older. We don't know how much time we have left with them, so leave it at that.
100%.
Yep, it's one of the amazing things. So if you found value in this, please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll hit the replay back again at 2 p.m. And what we always kind of say, share this with a friend, a neighbor. Actually, you know what? Today, guys, share with your mama. Send it to her. Share it with your mama, and share with the Amazon driver who's bringing your Amazon packages, because we all know you made your Mother's Day gifts and the Mother's Day flowers. You placed that order last night or even today. Might be the last minute kind of shoppers. And I know I want to kind of tell Carla, how can people get a hold of you on LinkedIn?
Yes, get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I usually accept a lot of content. I'm not content, but connections. Feel free to say hello to me. Right when I connect with you, I will always say, hey, thank you for connecting. So I'm super excited to meet everyone.
Awesome. And Cowboy, I know you got a big week next one. Let's let everybody know how they can connect with you and what you got going on.
Yeah, I'm launching my new podcast, Life Lessons and Logistics, at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. So check it out.
Give her, brother. Give her.
Unique. What's that?
That'd be awesome.
I said, give her, brother. Give her.
Yep, that's it. Absolutely.
It's going to be awesome. So proud of you. We're going to definitely tune in, and definitely always a big supporter of like you and I have done this together. So it's going to be amazing to kind of see you and your amazing guests coming up. Dano, 3 takeaways today and take us home, my friend.
3 takeaways. So first takeaway is just if I were you, I'd go back and rewatch this and ask yourself the questions Ryan asked us. Because I think it really opens your eyes anyways. It gets you thinking, right? Tell your mom you love them and just always remember that, be bold, fierce, and unrelenting in chasing your dreams. Because as Cody Johnson says, your dreams won't chase you back.
Yep.
You got to go after them. And again, we are broadcasting from the Sales Chatter Live page on LinkedIn. If you are watching it, then you know that. Tell everybody that you know about broadcasting from the live, because it's not coming from Ryan's and my personal pages anymore. And then if you're interested in any of the tools, head over to saleschatterlive.com and go and download some of the tools that Ryan and I talk about on the show. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.